Alexis was immediately put on the list for donation for transplantation, and that is if somebody dies and their organs are harvested and they match, then Alexis would have gotten a kidney.
You learn real quick that there just aren't enough kidneys to go around. There are so many people on the list that are waiting, and the number of donations that are available is basically insignificant.
And because you have two, you can give up one.
It was all these myths about, oh, if you give up a kidney, and especially in the black community, I'm telling you, so many people saying, oh, you're going to die. You're going to give up your kidney. You're going to die after that. Wow.
As far as organ diseases go, kidney is the one to have. You have two kidneys and you can live on one kidney. So, you know, God made us redundant that way. Of all the organs we have that one that we can give to someone else, and it doesn't change your life, the donor's life, in any way, shape, or form.
You wonder, can a human being get by with one kidney? But you find several things out. First, you can't give up an organ unless you're perfectly healthy. That you go through such a regimen of tests that they find out your level of health. And you also find out very quickly that those who do donate organs survive a lot longer than those who don't, because you've picked those people from the population who are the healthiest.
Well, unfortunately, for a cadaveric organ to become available, someone has to die, and for someone to be a viable donor, cadaveric donor, they pretty much have to be a healthy human being. So that means they've died tragically and suddenly in a car accident. So there are chances that that organ has somehow been damaged or traumatized. It takes a tragedy to make a cadaveric donation available. And conversely, a living donor is a much healthier organ, much less trauma involved, and the lifespan of that kidney, once it's in its recipient, is much greater than a cadaveric kidney.
But then when they told me I had to get a transplant, then I freaked out.
I didn't want to have to wait for somebody to die in order for me to get a kidney.
We knew the only realistic option was to find a living donor for Sean.
Well, of course, I jumped right in and said, well, let's do it now. I'll give her one of mine. I'd be happy to do it. It seemed natural to me to not have her suffer.
They was already in process of getting tested before I knew anything about it. I felt their love. I felt that they cared enough about me to do this, which I didn't ask, but they was already anticipating this. I said, well, they must have loved me to do something like that, you know.
I said, I hugged him, and I go, I'm a match. And he kind of backed off and looked at me, and he goes, what do you mean? I said, I got the okay for my blood work and everything. I said, I'm a match. I'm a match for you.
I could have cried.
Our pastor at the church where I attend let the congregation know of a need of one of our members for a kidney transplant.
People came forward, about 10 volunteers came forward.
Throughout all this, Linda didn't know, that it was me who was doing this. So it was, kind of interesting. It was kind of hard for me, just seeing her, Sunday after Sunday, Wednesday after Wednesday, and just, hi, how are you doing? And not able to tell her anything, and I'm just bursting inside, kind of like, I want to let you know that I'm doing this, but couldn't say anything.
I got a phone call saying, Linda, I have some good news, and I'm like, Shantae had never called me like that before.
The phone call was unexpected for her, and she wasn't quite sure what was going on.
We were good friends in church, but not on a personal level, like she would call me with some good news like this. So I'm like, yeah.
I told her, I've been going through, testing to see if I would be able to donate a kidney to you, and I was just told today that I was able to.
And she's like, I just found out we're compatible. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know she was a volunteer.
We were acquaintances at church, but that was pretty much it. Not really, never really had any deep conversations. And I'm sure she was thinking, well, why? You don't know me very well. And
she said, I just found out that we're so compatible that we even share one of the same antigens. And I said, oh my God. So at that point, I just broke down.
She was in tears, I could tell over the phone, and just surprised that it was me.
And I'm like, wow. I was excited. I was happy. And she already had a date in mind for us to go through the surgery. So she's like, well, how does July 9th sound? And I said, it sounds better than any date I've ever heard of in my life.
I told the doc, you got the hands, I got the kidney, let's make it happen.
The day of the surgery was pretty much like any other day. We get up, you're a little nervous. We went to the hospital and you get prepped, and actually I have to say the transplant team keeps you in an upbeat form.
I guess a lot of people think it's like a life and death operation, but no, it's not. It's really not.
These days, they do the laparoscopic surgery and people are back to work in 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing.
It's a lot easier than you think it is,
And after they hooked me up with the kidney, they started seeing results just like that.
And as soon as she got out of surgery, she said to me, Mom, I can think so much more clearly now. It was so amazing how within an hour of waking up from her surgery, she could feel the difference.
I felt energy in my body and I just came out of the operating room.
And there wasn't very much pain at all. Even from the start, there was very little pain, which was something I was very worried about. I was worried that this was going to really incapacitate me, but it did not.
I had a faster recovery than what they expected.
From the time I actually came in for the surgery and returned to work less than 2 weeks later, having an open procedure was pretty astonishing.
How awesome, just that everything was working, that, she was fine, that I was fine.
He's doing very well. There are approximately 80,000, more than 80,000 people waiting for a transplant.
Once I was educated and once I prayed on it, I wasn't afraid.
I would definitely do it again. I would definitely do it again. People have come up to me and said that if I ever needed a kidney, because they know I have one now, that they would be willing to give me a kidney.
But a lot of people don't think about it until it comes across their doorstep.
It doesn't have to be a family member. It could be anybody. I mean, I don't know, if some people probably don't know that he's black and I'm white. He's a male, I'm female. It could be you could be Chinese, Puerto Rican, anything.
Living donor will get you free again. It'll give you your life back.
I think you just have to realize, put yourself in the other person's shoes, in the shoes of the person with the kidney disease, and imagine what your life would be like. And knowing that you have something to give them to make the quality of their life so much better with basically no long-term impact to your own. If you're faced with the opportunity to help someone that way, I would hope anyone would respond to that.
Just thankful to Pam. I'm still here. Because by now, I don't think I would have made it. I'd have been just another page in the book, that's all.